Too sweet! Hi, welcome to JD Sports. I'm Jared Hood. That's Dwight Garfield. You can find our personal Twitters at the show's Twitter page, which is @_JD Sports. Dwight,
What up?
first off, thank you for the good weekend. I usually ask how your weekend was, but I was with you basically all of it, and it was fantastic. You made my birthday phenomenal. It was great. We had a good time.
No problem. Absolutely. I'm glad it was a good time.
We got to turn up a lot this year. It's been an odd year. We both kind of laugh at 2016 in a weird way, but the one thing that I will always take as a highlight of this year is we partied a ton together, and it was good. It was good partying.
Mhm.
I plan on continuing that.
Yeah.
So, thank you. Good weekend.
Absolutely.
Good weekend of
a great
football.
weekend.
A lot of controversy going on in college football. On Sunday, the rankings were put out.
That's what I hear.
Saturday, we went out for my birthday, and the bar that we went to originally has the best DJ in town, one of the best DJs in town, but Penn State was on. So it was packed. They were watching that game. We ended up bouncing around.
Had the music,
Penn State
had the
wins.
volume on it.
The place was going crazy. Penn State wins. College football playoff, before we get into actually talking about the NFL, which is what we usually talk to, I think in this format, the committee got it right by putting Washington. I know you know nothing about this, so I'm just going to kind of take it over quick. But
I just know Penn State fans like to cry.
okay, so Penn State has an argument, right? They have 2 losses. Ohio State has 1 loss. Michigan has 2 losses. Washington has 1 loss. Clemson has 1 loss.
Okay.
Bama is undefeated. Bama, best team in the nation. Bama, and side note on this, really one of the best Bama teams that you're going to see in this dynasty, maybe the best Bama team in this dynasty. They were already, before this playoff has even started, ranked the #1 team in the history of college football, according to one of the polls that was put out last week. I don't like that a little too soon. I want to see them actually win the championship before we ever go there. But I'll be honest with you. This team, the way they roll over some of these teams, it's impressive. This is the best offense Bama's had in this run, and they're always really good. Okay, so side note, that's a whole different point. We'll get into my picks another show. I think that Clemson, their loss was to Pitt at home, and but they deserved to be in there. They won the ACC. There was the 1 loss. They deserved to be in there. Ohio State's only loss was their second. 2 out of 3. 8 p.m. national game, 8 p.m. primetime national games, which is no excuse because you go to Ohio State to do that. But the second straight one on the road, it was to Penn State, so there's the head-to-head, on a blocked field goal. It was weird. They were gassed. They did not look good the 3 prior weeks before that. They come out and put up 60 the next 3 weeks. Ohio State deserves to be in there. They had 1 loss.
Yeah.
Yes, it was to Penn State, who had 2 losses, but Penn State got left out. And yes, they won the Big Ten, but Penn State lost by 39 to Michigan earlier in the year. That's. I'll take a blocked field goal and 1 less loss over 2 losses and 39-point blowout. And one of those losses was to Pitt, who Clemson also lost to. So there's that kind of equalizer. Washington also won their conference just like Penn State did, so the argument of conferences, not mattering. Washington's strength of schedule was miserable, 126. But 2 things. 1, these schedules are made 3 years in advance, okay? And there shouldn't be credit given for it was made 3 years in advance, so you didn't know that this was going to be one of the worst schedules in college football. But at the same time, when they made it, the two teams that they scheduled out of conference were ranked teams. They just now happen to be literally under ranked 80th and 90th in their it's just they didn't know in 3 years that they were going to drop off 50 spots. That's unpredictable that both of those teams were going to do that. Maybe one of them, and you figured both of them weren't going to be top 25 teams, but you didn't think that both of them would be literally down 50, 60 spots. Right. So I'm not saying there's credit for attempt there because they played what was in front of them. They won their conference. Their only loss was, yes, they got blown out as well, and I know that's my problem with Penn State, but it was 1 loss and it was to USC. And if we're being honest here, the reason we got rid of the computers was because we wanted this to be a subjective thing where the committee put the 4 best teams in there. If we're being honest with ourselves, USC and LSU are better than 2 of the 4 teams that are in there anyways, but they both have 3 losses, so there was no chance they were going to even sniff this playoff. But they're better teams. They just, one got their coach fired after the third loss, and they've looked like a completely different team. They've rolled over everybody they played. They were the only team to give Bama a game this year, and they literally almost beat them. And USC, they took their quarterback out, put this freshman in there. They've beaten every team by 35 points since then. Vegas, I guarantee you, would have them favored over Clemson and Washington, who made the playoff. So. Yes, Penn State has an argument. Yes, Michigan has an argument. But my thing is, if we're going to go away from the computers and go subjective here, and we're just going to be picking teams, then that's who I would have been voting for. And that sounds ridiculous. And never in this format is that the right way. And if you were telling me I had to be on that committee and we were doing it in this format, of course I would take the 4 teams they took. They did the right thing. Penn State has an argument, and I get their argument. But at the same time, you watch the NFL, so you will understand this better than a lot of people do. People say it shouldn't matter and it doesn't work this way because conferences don't work this way in college football. But Dallas, say they only have 2 losses this whole year, and their 2 losses were both to the Giants, but the Giants end up with 4 losses. Dallas still wins the division, gets the 1 seed in the NFC every single time. Every single time. That's just how it works. Yeah. That's okay. Well, but in this argument, they're trying to say that the Giants should get the 1 seed and in the division because they won. Because in college they win the division. In college, the way college works, the Giants win the NFC East. But Ohio State still made the playoffs, so Dallas still would be the number 1 seed. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't make any sense. The system, they took a bad system where it only took 2 teams that were decided by computers. Which, by the way, side note, the computers, the number 1 team and the number 2 team would have been Alabama and Ohio State. So that's who would be playing in the national championship anyways. And the number 3 team was Clemson. The number 4 team was Washington by the BCS standards. 4 Penn State, 5 Michigan. Just like
pretty much the same damn thing.
They mixed up Ohio State and Clemson. That's it. And they both make the playoff anyways by that standard. So there is no argument to me that says that Michigan or Penn State should be in. I would have liked to see Michigan. Honestly, if you're telling me between the 2, and Penn State fans would go crazy over this, and I can't stand Michigan. I hate, USC is my most hated team, and I'm rooting for Penn State to beat USC in the Rose Bowl this year. But I cannot stand Michigan almost as much as I can't stand USC. Unfortunately, the way they stacked up, I would have probably put them in the playoff over Penn State if you were taking between those 2. But Washington was there, and by this format, you can't deny what Washington did with the 1 loss. It sucks. They're going to get rolled by Alabama, and they'll probably lose by 40. Penn State probably would only lose by 20. No better. Honestly, I'm not saying Penn State has a shot or would have beat Bama. I don't even think they beat USC, though. I'm hoping they beat USC. But look. Ohio State and Bama were the clear-cut best teams anyways. You were taking them. I understand the argument. I do. The system's broken. They're going to, in 7 years, make it an 8-team system. My bigger thing is,
it's never going to be fixed.
Can we take these off of New Year's Eve? Can we please take the playoff off of New Year's Eve? I have a really hard time with it. I had to work last New Year's Eve. I'm probably going to have to work this New Year's Eve. I'm not going to be able to watch it with the sound on. I'm not going to be able to because if we have a party at my house, and if we weren't having a party at my house, I'd be going out at a bar, and the sound wouldn't be on there. I want to sit down and actually pay attention and enjoy these games. New Year's Eve, that will never happen. I will be, even if Notre Dame's in it, I will be drinking heavily because that's what I do on New Year's Eve, and I want to sit down. I like sitting down and actually paying attention to important games. Those are so important games. The first year, I love college football. I tell you all the time, I like it better than the NFL. I think the NBA and the NFL are the elite prime of what they're doing. I don't argue that the game is played better on those levels, and I like the NBA better than college basketball. But I don't know why I like the college football more. I just get more passion out of it. I just enjoy it, and the bigger games feel more important to me. But either way,
if you can't enjoy it, doesn't matter.
Right, but either way, my point is like on New Year's Eve, it is just so annoying that I'm sitting there and I'm the only one sitting in front of a couch with my leg crossed, with a beer in my hand, and everybody's in the background partying because I really want to watch these freaking games, and that's what I do. I care about them way more. So that's my whole thing. They got to fix that, and then in 7 years, get to the 8-team thing. Look,
just make it worse.
The only way to make this work is to break it down into 2 conferences and take the 2 best teams from both conferences. You're gonna get a lot, the NCAA will never do it because it is the most corrupt American sports-run system. But what you need to do is stop letting these teams make their own schedules. You need to stop with these compact conferences and make them big conferences where everybody can't play everybody, but you still make everybody play a good schedule, good enough schedule where you can decide who the 4 best teams are. A lot easier than this because this is not working.
It's broken.
You got to go to 8 teams anyways. You just have to. There's too many teams. There's literally 12, 15 times the amount of teams in college football, and literally 1/4 of it makes the playoff. It makes 0 sense.
What they're going to do, they're going to go to 8, and then they want to go to 16.
They won't go to 16.
They're just going to keep adding.
The money will never let them, unfortunately. But I would like to see 16. I'm glad I'll see 8 in my lifetime. I think that's pretty awesome. So, moving away from college football. Oh, last thing. As a Notre Dame fan, the good thing that we got out of this, right, is that Ohio State, that won. That Ohio State making it by not winning their conference, by losing a Big Ten game, it shows that conferences don't mean as much. Like, you can have your one loss and still make the playoff. Notre Dame's not in a conference. Notre Dame doesn't. They literally have to, everyone's eyes go undefeated to make it. But this proved that they still have the buffer one game as long as it's a game like Ohio State had with all the circumstances that I said and the way it happens. You still have to look like dominant the rest of the season the way Ohio State did. But there is a formula. There's a way to do it where even if you lose a game like Notre Dame did last year, they probably would have made it, which is good if they beat Stanford in the last week, which they don't. But it's good to know as a Notre Dame fan that that's not going to hamper them because that was one of my worries going into it last year. I would have been interested to see if they beat Stanford, if they would have got put in. I think they get put in because, like I just said, they just put Ohio State in, so why not? But different topic for a different day. Got to actually be that good and play that well to get there. So maybe I shouldn't get too excited yet.
NCAA needs to stick to their formula.
Moving to the NFL.
Okay.
We were talking about Michigan. They have a guy who started only literally a handful of games for them, who is now known as the greatest quarterback of all time. He barely played any college football. He was drafted in the 7th round of the NFL, and he has the most wins in the history of football. He is 140 wins above 500 with his 201st win, by the way. They only play 16 of these a season. The max he can play is 20, but he usually only plays 19 because he has the bye week. He started his career 9-0 in the playoffs.
Yeah, we must be talking about Dak Prescott.
Mississippi State, not Michigan. Close though.
I tried.
Yeah. Talking about Tom Brady, the GOAT.
Of course we are.
Okay, so those I know I rattle off things and I sound like just over the top when I talk about him, but like that's monumentous. Congratulations to him. That is nobody's in the history of football won 201 games. Like I say, if you really break it down, they only play 16 of these a year. That's incredible. He missed one. He missed the whole season too. By the way, he got one win in that season. So. 200 it's incredible.
You can never imagine anybody breaking that.
Records
are meant to be broken, but I mean,
it's
taking this long just to get that. So.
Manning had 200, and look how long it took him, and look how broken he was at the end, and look at how Brady.
He's still going.
The thought processes that start going through my mind with all these things is that like I'm one of those people that think that he could play for a very long time, but I had a thought this week after I'm seeing all these numbers and these stats and how he's on top of everything. If he wins it this year, what else do you have to prove? Do you just walk away? I mean, I know it's harder to walk away at the top than it is to walk away when you're at the bottom and you're depleted like Brett Favre or Manning was at the end. And even though you're still winning games and making the playoffs, like Favre and Manning won a Super Bowl, obviously, but you could tell his time was over. You could tell both of their times were over. I mean, Brady, you could literally convince me that I'd sign him to a 3-year contract today.
Oh yeah,
and that's scary.
As long as you're competing as a number one, then yeah, you absolutely should keep going. And if he wins the Super Bowl, he should keep going.
Well, I look
until he looks like Peyton Manning out there, which there's no sign of that.
I'm never going to be the person to say let's stop watching Tom Brady play football. So I'm with you on that, but I'm just saying for a second I see all these things and I just think to myself, you have that Jordan moment. Now Jordan came back obviously, but you have that Jordan moment. Like he walked away after a championship. Like he said, that was it. He knew that he had everything. He couldn't accomplish anything more, and he was like, I'm good. He wasn't obviously. He came back, but.
Yeah. I mean, Brady's already said that he wants to keep going.
Yeah, he did.
He wants to go for another.
He did say that, and that makes me feel better.
Couple years. He said he's in for it. So
the reason I bring him up is because we're gonna do something different this show. We're gonna talk about all the divisions because they're so close. But there's 2 divisions that aren't close at all. There's actually 3 divisions that I don't feel are close, but you feel it, and it's a little closer than I do. But there's 2 divisions that are not really necessarily close, and Tom Brady is leading one of them. I think the AFC East is on lock. I think the Patriots obviously win it. I think they get the number 2 seed. I think they can wrestle the number 1 seed away from Oakland. We'll talk about that here in a little bit.
The division can't wait for Tom Brady to retire.
They cannot wait for Tom Brady to retire.
They're hoping he walks away.
But what if Garoppolo just walks in and does the same thing? Anyways,
no.
I agree.
No.
So they looked pretty good on Sunday, beating
the
Rams. They have a pretty big one.
Against them, I would hope so.
They have a big one this week against Baltimore. We'll definitely get into that. I'm excited to see him for the rest of the season. It's funny because people still get upset about the cheating thing and whatnot. He's still on that mission. I mean, he looks like he's on that mission. Gronk going down, they didn't look like they missed a beat. That was 1 week.
Shocking.
That was 1 week after a team that gave up 40 points to LA. To the Saints. So I get it. Pump the brakes. LeGarrette Blount though, 43-yard run on 4th and 1 to score a touchdown. So they're doing their thing.
Pretend to have a running game. Congratulations.
The other division I'm talking about that's definitely on lock, at least in my eyes, would be the NFC West. I think the Seahawks pretty much got that. They put up 40 at home. They look different at home than they have on the road. They only put up 6 the week before on the road, and they do look a couple weeks before that against the Cardinals. They only put up 9 in that tie, right? Or 12 or something, 15, something stupid. But they didn't score a lot, and I'm pretty sure they haven't scored a touchdown. That was 2 games this year that they didn't score a touchdown on the road. So they do look different on the road than they do at home. But
they always do.
They put up 40 points this week. I think that they have that division on lock. I don't, obviously the Niners are out of it. Arizona, I don't see making the comeback. And
Arizona's a huge disappointment this year, and they're too inconsistent. Seattle is just clicking at the right moment.
Yeah, and I think LA. We just talked about how bad they looked last 2 weeks.
Horrible, absolute trash. Got the league.
The Seahawks pretty much have that one together.
Got the league. Bye.
The division, I think, also that is locked up, and if the Cowboys win this week, then there is no chance for the Giants to pull it off. The NFC East. Do you think there's still a chance?
For the Giants?
Yeah.
No.
So you're on my side. So you think it's locked up too?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're on Dallas as the NFC East champs. Okay, so
I'm glad.
We can just move on.
I'm actually very glad that all 3 teams lost this weekend. The best division in the NFL.
Did not look good.
All 3 of them lost, even though
all of them looked really bad in their losses.
Eagles
all of them
on
really bad.
Yeah, Eagles on what, a 2 or 3 game losing streak. Giants on like 2. Redskins on like 1 or whatever their order is. It's 1, 2, and 3. It's
Giants
ridiculous.
Are on 1.
I don't care the order.
Eagles are on 3, and the Redskins are on 3.
Best division in the NFL. Best division in the NFL. They're all on losing streaks since the Cowboys.
3 weeks ago, they were the best division in the NFL. The Cowboys
3 weeks
killing it. Just kept the foot to the pedal.
I don't know about killing it. Let's not say that they killed it against the Vikings.
They have 11 days off. I think they're going to look really good this Sunday.
You would hope so. I'll tell you what, the Vikings are the hardest defense that they're going to face the rest of the season.
Yeah, I agree.
Until we get to the playoffs, which is what I'm fearful of.
They did what they had to do. They did what they had to do.
The Vikings made our defense a lot better than it is. But
Earl Thomas going down changes everything for the Seahawks. The Seahawks defense with Earl Thomas, Richard Sherman, Cam Chancellor hurt.
Still don't like it.
5-11.
Still don't like it.
5-11.
For our team,
with one of those 3 teams out, or one of those 3 players out, I don't even see
versus Russell Wilson. I don't like it.
Oh man, on the road, I just told you how different their offense looks on the road than they do at home.
Don't like it.
Wow.
Don't like it. I'm telling you, man.
We're gonna get into that.
We kind of got exposed by the Vikings, and that's Sam Bradford
at a different time.
Come on now.
A lot of Eagles fans are really weary of Doug Peterson right now.
Eagles fans are a lot of things every other week.
He's gonna have 3 years no matter what. But here's my thing. He needs to, in my personal opinion, step back from the play calling because the last 3 weeks, not that it hasn't been good. It's just they feel like they play.
Call what it is. He has been calling good.
He hasn't
in like 4 or 5 weeks.
And after games, I'd rather him not even if he feels like Carson Wentz mechanics didn't look good, because at times Carson Wentz mechanics didn't look good. I won't disagree with that. He threw the ball right to the defenders 4 times in that game. I'm not gonna deny that he is wrong on his statement. But Carson Wentz is not wrong in saying sometimes when you throw 60 times a game, it's going to look bad in that game. Because he's not wrong that on the other end of saying how bad he looked at times, he also looked really good. You know why? He completed 36 passes, and I'm pretty sure like 20 of them were over 12 yards. So like, you take the good with the bad. When you throw 60 times a game, you're going to have a lot of really good, you're going to have a really bad. Way too many throws for a game for a rookie. I'm not really sure what's going on with the running back situation.
There is none.
I mean, okay, but like at least try. I mean, Deuce Staley doesn't even look like he's rotating running backs anymore. He's just kind of throwing anybody out there. Also, Greg Lewis, the wide receivers have not progressed at all since he's become the coach. So I'm pretty sure they're gonna have to figure out a new running back. And I love both those guys. Deuce more than I love Greg Lewis, but this is frustrating to watch, and it's getting even more frustrating when they're going out there and just getting absolutely blown out by a team that doesn't have their running back or their best wide receiver. It's Andy Dalton put up 400 yards on that.
He made this year's Bengals look like a playoff team.
This was the first time, I'm just going to say it, like the defense is definitely as fault as the offense on this one. That's the first time I really truly feel that this year.
As poop as I've been saying they are.
And they
you know what?
That was bad. And look, Jalen Mills is out there on an island. He played well.
You know why they're coming at the coach? Because they didn't give any effort. There was no effort on the team.
Well, why would you give effort the way that they were running that system? I mean, the defense is probably like, dude, what are you doing? Like, what are you?
You're a professional. Go out there and do your job.
I don't disagree with that. And the Jets look 10 times worse. So like the Eagles unfortunately they get masked there happily, huh? But when it looks good, it looks really good in Philly, and when it looks bad, it looks really bad. Right now,
has it looked really good since like week 3 or 4?
It looks really bad right now.
It's just gotten worse. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not. Look, I'd like to see them put more effort in, and if they're losing games close, it is what it is because you get a better draft pick. But that is unacceptable. Like what happened on Sunday, I mean, that was miserable. And I watched about 3.5 quarters of that game, and I finally was like, all right, red zone, because I just
pathetic.
So. That's how I feel about that.
Pathetic.
Kirk Cousins threw a bad interception to lose the game on Sunday as well.
He wants money, doesn't he?
And the Giants.
And Odell Beckham dropped several balls.
Man, that score was close. That score was close, but it was a 2-touchdown game the whole way through.
This division is what I thought it was.
So the AFC South. Moving on.
Yeah.
3 teams tied at the top. You have the Tennessee Titans, which was unexpected from my standpoint because I thought there would be 3 teams fighting for it, but I did not think it would be the Titans. I thought it would be the Jaguars. So flip those around. The Titans, Mariota, and your old boy, and kind of not really my old boy, doing that thing out there. The defense actually playing kind of well. Not really. They're actually playing really bad against good teams. The defense is getting blown out by good teams. But
of course they are.
Still impressive to see them at the top of the division. Andrew Luck looked like a world beater against a man. Okay, so quickly, I was just talking about the Jets.
Ugh, here we go with the Colts and Andrew Luck's greatness.
They're calling for Revis to retire.
He should. He's playing horrible.
I don't know if
he's been exposed this entire season.
I don't know. I think okay. So does he go out and get exposed one more year and collect the money, or does he just give the money back and say, you know what, I'm good?
I mean, if I'm him, I'm just going to go get my money. But no, he needs to go.
He was playing with fool's gold the last, 5 or 6 contracts. Remember, he's been doing the 1-year deal, the 2-year deal, the 1-year deal, the 2-year deal. Remember, he's been doing that. It worked out really well when he was making money for those 7 years, right? It worked out for 7 years.
Who's going to sign his ass?
That's the thing. Is now okay. So now you're 7 years in, and now you're getting burned. Luckily for him, he did it on a contract that he signed 3 years because I think he saw it coming. But so now at the end of next year though, it's over. At the end, because last year he was still an elite corner. This year he is not.
No, he's not any good. He's horrible.
And next year
he might as well be an Eagles corner.
He won't dress next year at this rate.
Or Cowboys corner after time. Good.
It's true.
What's ready? He should leave. There's no reason for him to be around.
So
it's horrible.
Back to the AFC South, where
who do you have?
I have the Colts, of course. Even though Houston, because I had Houston earlier in the year, but I picked the Colts before the season. I switched it to Houston as the season was going on because I really thought that they were looking good. Look, I don't think Osweiler is a good quarterback, but I think Bill O'Brien's a really good offensive coordinator. And
That's
I think
why I keep hearing about him.
And I think he can change quarterbacks.
I hear how great he is when they're 6-6.
Man, but when Osweiler looks good, he looks really good. And Andrew Luck, I mean, look, they still have a winning record with him in there, and their offense their offense is putting up 27 points a game or 28 points a game with him in there. So. They're looking good. I have them. Their defense is not any good, but all three of those defenses are getting absolutely trashed right now.
They're poop.
I got Indy. Who do you got?
I got Tennessee just because
Really?
Mariota just looks awesome. I mean, he's +6 in touchdown ratio from last year, which is pretty good. He's also has like 100 additional yards already this year. He has DeMarco Murray to back him up. The offense is good enough.
They don't have a win over a team with a winning record. That's the only thing that scares me.
I think their offense is built enough that they could get this and they could squeeze it out. And in this weak division, like you said, all the defenses are weak. I don't trust any of the other offenses. The great Andrew Luck and Brock Osweiler, who got a paycheck because he had a half-decent year in Denver. I don't trust it. I trust the stability in Marcus Mariota with DeMarco Murray. DeMarco Murray is the difference maker in this whole thing. As much as I hate this man for everything that he did, he's a difference maker for him. He really is.
He's playing really well.
They should be better than 6-6. I think they could still win a division. They might get a playoff game, maybe a playoff game victory. I don't think they get 2. But I think that they can do at least 1.
Yeah, I actually think they end up 3rd in the division. I still think that Houston is better than them. Pretty sure they all play each other again. I think Tennessee's good. They just haven't been a good team. Like I think their offense is fun.
Neither of them.
But I think they're fake good. Like Jacksonville fooled me last year being fake good. Like
yeah, they faked the hell out of you, and I told you about them.
Right, but that's how I feel about Tennessee right now. I feel like they're the same team. They faked the hell out of me at the end of last year. I feel like Tennessee's faking the heck out of everybody right now.
Well, Tennessee was weak in the beginning of the year, but they switched it around.
But that's how I felt about Jacksonville last year. That's what I was saying. I don't know. I still got Houston and Indy. I got Indy winning it, obviously.
Of course you do, because you love Andrew Luck.
I think he's the best. I think he's the best player in football.
Pause.
Well, no. I mean, I thought Cam Newton was the best player in football, but I think that Andrew Luck is the best quarterback of the future. He's going to be the best player in football. Like Aaron Rodgers, best player in football consistently. Tom Brady, best player in football consistently over years. You know what I'm saying?
Sometimes I can't take you seriously.
I think Andrew Luck's going to be best player in football consistently over years.
But Carson Wentz was the next great.
I didn't say that.
Well, your people said that.
Well, I mean, Dak Prescott's better than Roger Staubach, apparently, according to your people. So calm down.
I've never heard anybody say that.
We were joking about it in preseason when they were talking about this guy.
I never heard anybody say he was better than anybody. But, okay. I've heard Zeke Elliott's comments, which I agree he needs to relax on that Emmitt Smith comment.
Yeah,
but I have heard that. That needs to relax.
To back Dak's numbers up, though, this is like a Roethlisberger type start. This is like a...
It's like Roethlisberger had a defense.
This is like a... Yeah, I agree. This is like a...
That's why I don't like it.
Tom Brady-like start.
Yeah, no.
Didn't Brady win his first...
I'm not going there. I refuse
16?
not even have that conversation.
15 or something like that?
I
Super
don't
Bowl was
know.
involved there?
I don't know what he did. I don't know his life.
AFC North.
Yeah.
It's between 2 teams. They play each other on Christmas. It's probably going to mean everything. Probably.
Yep.
I think there's 2 weeks in between now and then.
I can only imagine who you're going with.
Who you going with?
The Steelers. I know you're going with Baltimore.
I don't trust the Steelers' defense. I trust the Ravens' defense. The Ravens' defense...
I don't trust Joe Flacco.
Really?
No.
40 points last week?
Great.
40 points last week.
Drew Brees put up 50 2 weeks ago.
Look, and this is not even just Joe Flacco, because this is, I know I give Joe Flacco a lot of credit for being in every game, but I'm going to be honest with you. Last year when he was hurt, Ryan Mallett was in every game too. They were within 7 points of 4 of their 7 losses, or 8 losses last year, whatever they had. They had the most injuries in the history of football last year, and they were still within 7 points in over half of their losses.
Point being,
this year, in those close games, they're winning all of them. And right now, their offense, since the
why are they
middle...
only 7-7?
Because since the middle of the third quarter in the game against Dallas, that offense, I think, has scored on every possession except 3. Like, that's incredible. That's a 3-game span. They're killing it right now. they're putting up 36 points a game or something like that over that time. Look, 40 points last week has a lot to do with that. There's only, we're a 3-week sample here, but
Yeah.
that's incredible. And the 40 points last week, I told you I thought Miami was going to falter because they had 2 shaky games against bad teams, but I did say I thought it was going to be close, and that was not close at all.
Look here, there's no wrong answer here. You know why? Because they both have decent offenses. Decent enough, I'll say.
I just think the Ravens defense is better.
I think Pittsburgh has a much better offense. But
I agree.
Regardless,
I agree.
They're both top 7 defense in points. So, I can see where you're saying that. You're saying Baltimore has a better defense. I don't disagree with that. But I just
the Steelers defense has gotten better over the last 2 or 3 weeks. Don't get me wrong, or even 4
Yeah,
or 5, 6 weeks.
definitely.
As I was saying,
Right.
They have gotten better. They do look. They're not the same defense that demolished in Philly. I will give you that. But they are also not as good. I don't think they're even close to what the Ravens got. And I think that if you had to trade punches back and forth, I trust the Ravens defense making that 1 or 2 stops that you have to make more than I trust the Steelers defense making that 1 or 2 stops to make. Especially, I got you. Look, because I know you don't. I know you don't look at on the offenses both sides of the field as the way that I do. Like I know that you think that the Steelers are just far and above the better offense, and I think they are the better offense. I think they're the better offense. But the way you say that you can't go against Drew Brees, the way you say you can't go against ex quarterback, I just. That's how I feel about Flacco, man. I think he's as good as Roethlisberger. You know what I mean? I think he's on that pedigree. I know you don't feel that way, but they consistently do this, and when they are healthy,
so do the Steelers.
I hear you, but
so how can you make such
a
a strong case for the Ravens? But you're pretty much like, I hear you, but this team's so much better. That's what you're saying. Yes, you are.
I'm saying that look, the Steelers are very good. I'm saying the difference. That's what I was trying to explain to you is that I look at those quarterbacks as equal. So my difference maker here is the defense, and I think the Ravens defense is just much better than the Steelers defense.
Probably.
That's why I'm taking the Ravens. That's the sole reason, not because of the offenses or because of the quarterback. I put them on the same level. That's why I think that way, and that's why. So I break it down to the other side of the ball. And the other side of the ball, I think the Ravens are just a much better defense.
I know this is the first time Ben Roethlisberger has faced this defense. I know he's taken them out before, and I think he can very well do it again.
Division games are definitely crazy, especially when the 2 teams are as good as the 2 teams, and as consistently as they have been, and systematically as good as they have been over the years as well. So they are crazy good battle matchups. They know each other better, than anybody else. This is one of the most consistent rivalries in football. It might be the best current rivalry in football if you really break it down. I don't know, but I think it could be. I mean, it's up there. So I'm still taking the Ravens.
Okay. Of course you are.
The AFC West, keep it in the AFC. Big game.
What I know you're going with.
Big game on Thursday night. That game, to me, decides probably the division because that will put them in even against each other, but it will put that winner, I think, 1 game above in the division wins. So even if the other team were to get a win and that other team would lose, I'm pretty sure that the winner of this game still has the breaker. Anyways, so.
Go ahead, say it.
You have Denver still in it.
Yeah.
But it's really between Kansas City and Oakland, right?
Yeah. They're both, Raiders are 10-2, Chiefs are 9-3. Denver, whatever. To me, it's these 2 teams.
Me too.
So.
I'm having a hard time I had a hard time picking this game on Thursday because Kansas City has found ways to win.
I didn't have a hard time.
They have been destroying the odds here, if you really think about it. I mean, they're up to 19 of the last 26, something or 20 of the last 27, something, whatever it is. Just incredible. You don't do that in the NFL, and they're just consistently doing it. You don't run a fake punt and get 7 points, and then give up a touchdown, and then pick it off and have the 2-point conversion on your side to take the lead. That doesn't happen, and they're just doing it. I don't know how to explain it. I took Oakland though, because I trust their offense a lot.
What's ironic? This whole dumb conversation we just had about the Steelers and the Ravens.
I don't trust.
We both sound like hypocrites because I'm going Kansas City because of their defense. So we're both hypocrites. Can we just throw that out there?
Yes, I don't trust their
defense. Good. I'm glad we can both admit that because I'm going with Kansas City because of their defense. Oakland's defense is absolutely trash.
Can I at least
okay. Pittsburgh's defense isn't trash.
You know how you break it down to quarterback play?
Pittsburgh's defense isn't that good.
No, I agree.
But it's not trash.
Oakland. They're not Oakland.
It's not trash.
They're not Oakland.
So we're both hypocrites. I'm glad we both accept that.
Okay.
Go ahead, tell me why you're not, because you're breaking down some stat.
The only defense I would have in this is that I try to explain to you that I look at the quarterbacks in that other rivalry. I look at the quarterbacks as equal. I don't look at these quarterbacks as equal. I think that Derek Carr...
That's been everybody's problem. That's why the Chiefs have been rolling, because everybody's been underestimating them for the past year.
I don't think it's underestimating Alex Smith. Look, Alex Smith is
doing... Everybody's underestimating that team.
You were mad when everyone was getting on Dak Prescott for doing nothing but throwing underneath, and I always say that Mark Sanchez, if he would have just learned how to never stop throwing it underneath, if he would have stopped trying to just be the superstar and be that guy, and if he would have just stayed in line and did what they were asking to do as the quote-unquote game manager, the way that Alex Smith has done his entire career. Look, Alex Smith, who's better, Alex Smith or Kirk Cousins? Right, you have to think about it. That's my point. So you have to think about it. That's my point. Sure. That's my point. So I'm saying that I trust Carr way more to beat a good defense than I do Alex Smith to throw underneath all game and outscore Carr and the entire Oakland offense, because the way Crabtree's rolling, the way Cooper's rolling, the way Murray had 2 touchdowns this week. Thank
you for making my Pittsburgh argument. Appreciate it.
But I feel like Joe Flacco is good enough to consistently beat a good defense, where I do not feel like Alex Smith is good enough to consistently score with Derek Carr, who I do think is good enough to destroy good defenses, because he's been destroying good defense the whole season. He went on the road and destroyed the Ravens. He put up 36 points against the Ravens.
You know what I don't trust about the Raiders? Their defense is trash. They're absolutely trash. 1. 2, I don't think, I keep saying, I don't trust the Cowboys defense going into the playoffs. I don't trust the Raiders going into the playoffs.
I know we're talking about.
I know we're talking about who's going to win the division. We're not talking about the playoffs, but I just don't, consistency wise, I don't trust Oakland past December. So I think that Kansas City is more suited. It's getting cold out now. It's December time. It's time to start bottling down, and I think. Oakland can only keep bouncing back, being down every week so often. I know they've done it all year, and they're going to probably keep doing it whatever for the rest of the season. But eventually, it's going to catch up to you, and I think it's going to catch up to them if they make it to the playoffs, definitely by then.
Well, I don't think it'll catch up to the playoffs, but I think that they can get to the playoffs this way. Derek Carr, it just, until someone stops him, I'm going to take them. It's impressive to watch.
If he does it against Kansas City, it's going to be huge.
The heck out of them in Oakland. I'm not ignoring that fact either.
If Oakland beats them this Thursday, that's huge for them. But I don't know. I just don't see it happening. That defense is just too much right now.
That's going to be a fun game. So you were talking about how the Raiders need to. You were talking about how the Raiders need to stop either being tied or coming back from being down in the fourth quarter.
All the time.
Detroit, for the first time all season, was not trailing in the fourth quarter of a game. And another win.
Yep.
They looked really good against New Orleans. Who hasn't looked good offensively against New Orleans? Look, I always say that Tom Brady, MVP, and we always talk about who else can be in the MVP race. I'm going to slowly take Matt Ryan out of it and just replace him with Matt Stafford. Matt Stafford's having an incredible year. He's having an incredible since Thanksgiving of last year, as I keep pointing out. It's sad. But he literally, the numbers are incredible. NFC North, they have the lead. They've been the cardiac kids all year. Minnesota has looked like they've regressed. They have, I think,
looking horrible.
The most division wins, so they'll at least be tied. I forget what that stat is.
I don't know.
Green Bay's defense, I don't trust them.
Horrible.
I'm taking Detroit to hold on.
Yeah, that's an easy pick. I'm going with Green Bay.
Oh, I knew you were going to say that. The way you trust Rodgers, that's what I was trying to say with the Flacco. And
you know what? They are peaking at the absolute right moment, Green Bay, as they won, past 2 weeks, and it's like, oh, this is why And after I said I'm done with them, but then they come back and smash this team and then smash this team. Well, whatever. It's a division game, so it's always a toss-up. And especially, this week, it's going to be a hard one. They're facing the Seahawks.
No, but the last 2 weeks, they've beaten the Eagles and then they beat the Texans. It's not like
you beating who you beating.
I hear you, but
beating who you beating.
The reason I'm not taking the season because they're not beating good teams. Green Bay is not beating good teams.
Right, they beat. I'm glad you finally admitted that Philadelphia's trash.
Look at them the last 2 weeks, too.
Look at them the whole season. So They have a tough matchup with Seattle, but if they get this victory, and let's say Detroit loses, it's one game off. It's one game off. It's absolutely one game off, and it's Lambeau. It's Green Bay. It's December. It's their time. And
I think Green Bay can win this
week.
I'm not saying that, but
considering they won the past 2 weeks, there's no reason to, just shit on it completely. I think that's ridiculous. Just like I kind of think as much as I don't want to admit it, it's kind of stupid to shit on Minnesota because of their defense and how great they still are. It's stupid to shit on them. I think this is still going to come down to the very end. Detroit has a 2-game lead. I don't think it lasts. I think that the gap is going to close, if not this week, maybe next week.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be interesting to close it out.
I think
it's going to be a lot tighter.
I think that even if Green Bay wins this week, which they can do, I think they still lose Detroit. So I had Detroit winning the division. That offense is just on a roll right now, and that defense just held down New Orleans, which nobody has done all year. I'm not saying let's start talking about how great Detroit's defense is in any way, shape, or form. They're about middle of the league in almost every category, but middle of the league in every category and the way your offense is playing is good enough to get on a roll, and especially with how bad the rest of their division has looked against good teams. Minnesota, since the Eagles game, has just been atrocious. You can go with I got Detroit. Last division to talk about. I said about taking Matt Ryan out and putting Stafford in. His division, he is tied at the top with Tampa Bay right now. The Tampa Bay Bucks, after firing Lovie Smith last year, which I did not think was a good idea.
No, that was bullshit.
And starting off with the 3 horrible games that they played this year, have come back to tie for the division lead with Atlanta, who has looked really good, but lost in a horrible fashion this week. Look, the Eagles' last win is against them. I mean, that's... right? So it's just weird. Against everything I want, against how I feel, I'm taking Atlanta to win this division. I don't trust their defense, and I think Tampa Bay actually has a better defense over the last 6 weeks. Their defense is way better.
Time out. You just picked Atlanta over your boy Jameis, over the next GOAT Jameis? Mr. I like crab legs, Jameis, your boy? Really? You didn't pick Atlanta. That's weird. I don't believe you. Think about it for another second. Because I'm going with Tampa Bay.
I'm going with Atlanta.
Atlanta's lost 4 of the last 7. They've looked atrocious.
They have.
And their defense is absolutely...
Their defense is so bad.
Oh. Matty Ice, and he looks ice and cold. Like he just doesn't look like he's anything. And they're falling into the whole trap of... yeah, we're good, but we're not great. Going Tampa Bay.
I'm still taking them.
That's bizarre.
I have a weird
nice
feeling.
word for it.
Tampa Bay, I just have a weird, I don't know what it is. I hope I'm wrong. Look, I'm rooting for Tampa. I'm be honest with you. Take my thoughts out of it. My heart, I'm rooting for Tampa Bay, man. I want to see Jameis. I want to see Jameis be playing some good playoff football here. I mean, yeah, I'm rooting for it. Like you said, I love Jameis. I love him. He's so fun to watch. And when he's playing well, he's incredible. I think he's right there behind Andrew Luck, and he's right. Mariota is getting to that. I mean, it's fun. Jameis is fun.
It is, but you just lost me on my heart. He's got your heart. That's so cute.
So I'm gonna do a really, really, really fast rundown of the NBA. Ready?
Okay.
Ready? Russell Westbrook still triple doubles. Cool, right? Crazy. Also on top of it,
also kind of lame.
the most kind of old Depot's playing really well. This is gonna be really fast because we got picks. But Russ, the most impressive thing about this is the rebounds. His game against Atlanta, he had more rebounds than his own center, Steven Adams, and he had more rebounds than Dwight Howard. Oladipo also dunked on Dwight Howard, which is pretty funny. I'm pretty sure you probably appreciate that. If you haven't seen it, you need to look it up. But Russ, it's impressive. The rebounds thing is the most impressive thing to me. I think he can do it for the rest of the season. Jason Kidd said he thinks he can do it for the rest of the season. I don't think Russ cares about anything except getting that triple-double.
You know what's bad is that nobody wants to say that this is a reflection of how bad the rest of the team is, too.
I agree.
It's factual.
Other thing I wanted to say, talk about a really good team. Klay Thompson on Monday night, the 60-point performance in 29 minutes. The only player to ever put up 46 points in less than 30 minutes is Larry Bird. Okay, he put up 46. He did it once. Klay Thompson, 16 times he has put up over 46 points. He's the only player to ever do it. That's incredible.
I don't know why everybody always acts like they're shocked when they're like, "Oh, Klay Thompson had a big game. He's a great
60,
player." He just
60 points though. I mean, no.
Well, yeah,
look,
but
I'm shocked about that.
People always shrug
You know I
him
like
off.
Klay. You know I think he's a good player.
He'll have a great game, and people are like, "Okay, yeah," but then he doesn't have that type of game, and people are like, "Oh, yeah, the other Splash brother." No, he is great, and he could be a franchise player anywhere.
This is not me taking anything away from the Kobe Bryant 82-point game, which was incredible in and of itself. He was on pace for 98. He would have scored 98 points.
Yep.
He would have been 2 points behind Wilt if he kept playing. He literally scored 60 points and had the ball for only 88.2 seconds.
I don't know what's my the fact that you know that stat or the fact that stat's a stat.
That's disgusting.
It is disgusting that you memorize that.
Getting into our picks this week, Dwight. Last week I went 11-4.
I went 10-5.
Oh man. I'm 115, 72 and 2. I feel like I'm finally starting to pull away.
Oh, you've been starting to pull away like 3 weeks ago. I'm 104, 85 and 2. I'm just glad that I kind of put a gap on this, 50%.
Yeah, we both did because we were both getting low there for a while, right?
Trash. So I'll take it at this point because it's been a miserable season for picks.
Well, hopefully this week doesn't throw either of us off. Oakland taking on Kansas City. We both said about the division. I'm guessing we're going to go that way in this game as well. I'm taking Oakland.
Taking Kansas City.
It's going to be a fun game Thursday night. You're right, though. Neither of us are going to be able to stay up for it. I think I might tape it and watch it Friday when I get home.
Can't do it.
Cincinnati taking on Cleveland. Look, this is the trap game. This is the Cincinnati just put up a ton of points against not a good team. They're going against blah 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 blah. I'm taking Cincinnati, but man, this is the game. This is. I said that they I didn't think they had another shot. I take that back. I think this is their other best shot than that Jets game.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's funny though because you said it was a trap game. You actually mispronounced the word trash. Because it's a trash game.
There's 2 trash games this week.
Oh my gosh, there's an even worse one. I'm going with Cincinnati. It's such a miserable one. Oh my gosh.
It's almost as bad as one as one of those 2 teams played in last week. We'll get to it.
Yes. We're talking about the same thing.
Denver is taking on Tennessee this week. I really wanted to take Tennessee, but Denver's defense is really good, and Tennessee hasn't beaten a good team all year. Until they beat a good team, like beating Denver, I'm not going to take Tennessee. I'm taking Denver. I don't trust their quarterback at all, though. I mean, I think you and I could go out there and play quarterback right now for them because they're not sure what's going on.
I'm going to go with Tennessee just because I need that victory, so I'm going with that.
Okay, Pittsburgh's taking on Buffalo.
I don't even have that game written down, actually. So, yeah.
Pittsburgh's taking on Buffalo.
Don't even play me right now.
I'm taking Pittsburgh, but man,
Okay.
Buffalo.
Okay.
Buffalo.
Most overrated coach in the NFL.
Not just that though, their offense
Trash.
playing well. Their defense isn't too bad.
Wait, who are we talking about?
Pittsburgh's taking on Buffalo.
No, I'm saying, what team were you saying that about?
Buffalo.
No, stop it, Buffalo. Buffalo fell over last
Taking
week.
Pittsburgh to win.
Talk about how Buffalo fell over last week with the 2 most overrated coaches in the NFL. They're both of their expertise. Let me get this straight. Their expertise, which asked the Saints, asked the Cowboys, asked the Jets the past few years. Their expertise is defense, right? Right. Let me get right. Am I correct in saying that?
Best defense of all time was coached by Rex Ryan.
Okay. Yeah, he's also hasn't made the playoffs. This will be the 6th year in a row. So his thing is defense, correct?
What's sadder, that stat or that you memorized it?
The fact
that was good.
Yeah, the fact that I memorized it.
No, it was good.
It's pathetic. It's absolutely.
That's a great stat. You're right, and you're not wrong. I knew that
miserable.
stat. I knew that
miserable.
stat.
The fact that you always fucking know the stats. I need you to stop reading computers all day. Reading computer screen stats all day. I'm just going to get you a job at like PTI.
I'm sad because I really like the Ryan brothers, but you're not wrong.
What is it to like about them? Seriously, I
was
saying
named after their father, and my middle name is because of their father's middle name. And
football wise, what is there to like about him?
No, you're not wrong.
I like to pretend that I like Rex Ryan.
I like the family,
but I'm over him, and
rest in peace, buddy Ryan. We miss you.
I'm going with the
Pittsburgh
who the hell are they
Steelers.
playing? The Steelers.
Yeah, we're both taking the Pittsburgh
overrated,
Steelers on this one.
overrated. Ryan brothers, get out of the league.
So I keep going against Arizona, and sometimes they prove me wrong, and sometimes they don't. Miami did look really bad the last 3 weeks on offense. Well, 2 of the last 3 weeks on offense, but they looked bad in all of those 3 games, and 2 of those games were against garbage teams. They got destroyed in the game against a good team. For some reason, I trust Miami a little more than I do Arizona. I'm going with Miami.
I hated this game. I didn't know what to go with, but at this point, at this stage, I do trust Miami more. I'm going with Miami.
So we're going to make this really fast. I don't
Yeah.
think the Eagles are going to win. I got Washington.
Yeah. I wanted to kind of make a little case for y'all, but I can't watch it.
Houston taking on Indianapolis. I think Andrew Luck gets it done, man.
Yeah.
Yes, I know we talked about how bad the Jets played and looked and whatnot. Looked 4 touchdowns and 3 of them in the first half. He was controlling that. The offensive line, which is not any good, was protecting him, so I'll give him that credit. But he was moving around a little bit in the pocket, up and down instead of left and right, running for his life like he usually is. When that happens, and I think they can do that because Houston just doesn't seem like they're really good on defense lately. Indianapolis rolls on offense really well when he gets when he gets an extra second. That's all he's looking for, and he gets it. They look as good as they did Monday night. Yes, the Jets are a more trash team than most, but I think they can. I think they can beat Houston pretty dominantly, I guess.
Out of 3 teams we were talking about in the division, I think Houston's the weaker of the 3. I got Indianapolis getting this one.
San Diego's taking on Carolina. The quarterback I dislike a lot versus the quarterback I like a lot. Look, I had a really hard time with this.
A little bit.
San Diego flying across country. It's the only reason I'm picking Carolina.
I'm going Carolina. They got to get a victory at some point, don't they?
Yeah, as long as Cam Newton wears a necktie on the flight home from Seattle, I think Derek Anderson won't throw an interception on the first series. His first throw. Look, side note on this Cam Newton thing, they don't sit him last year. That's my only problem with this. I don't care. You want to set your discipline?
They definitely don't.
You want to set your discipline? You want to put your foot down? You want to be that team? You want to be that guy? Great.
As they should, yeah, definitely. If
You
you have
don't-
a role, do it.
You
Cool.
don't do that last year.
No,
That's
they don't.
my issue with this.
It's
You don't
hypocritical.
treat it different last year than you do this year, and last year you would have treated it different. He said he wore almost the same exact outfit without a tie last year. He said it. He said he wore almost the same exact outfit last year. Different colors.
You know, I don't disagree because I think it's ridiculous. I don't think they do it last year either. But I also say, dude, if this is a rule that has been a rule,
I agree.
follow the rule. It's
I don't
a
disagree.
very simple rule.
He needs to follow the rule.
And saying that, as much as I'm on Riviera's side, what a statement you made by sitting him out of series and you wait until your backup threw an interception. So
First throw. Look,
really,
Mike
was
Tomlin-
that your statement?
I'm not.
And Cam Newton was like, really, bro? Really? Okay. Oh, I'm back in now?
I
Okay,
go back
cool.
and
Big
forth.
statement.
I go back and forth on always how I feel about Mike Tomlin. But one of my favorite quotes from him is Mike Tomlin said, I'm going to treat everybody fairly, but I'm not going to treat everybody the same way.
Yeah.
Cam Newton, it falls in that category.
That's fine.
He falls in that category. Look, that's not just because I like him a lot. That's because if it was Aaron Rodgers or if it was Tom Brady or if it was even Carson Palmer, man, like you're telling him, hey, dude, don't ever do that again or else you're sitting for a series, and you let him go out there and you play. You don't do it last year. That's my bigger issue, honestly. That's my biggest issue with the whole thing is that you didn't do it last year. Why?
To me, that's issue B, but
Why are you now? Whatever.
to me, it's issue B. Issue A,
Look,
you know
he
the
needs
rules.
to
Just have a damn time.
I'm not
bro.
against it. I'm not against it.
and no, the worst part of that is apparently some people were offering that tie. He said, oh, I can't wear that with this.
He needs to do it. He just needs to do it.
Really, bro?
I don't disagree
By the way,
with that.
I finally found out that the root of what that is. I'm not going to say it on the air. There's more of a story to it. I'm not going to say it on the air.
I know it.
Yeah, it's about, well, whatever. It's about smoking marijuana, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah. Real classy. Well, he's not the only one that does it, but I think it's hilarious now to actually know that.
Well, it started
and
from
knowing
a
that,
dance.
And
It started from a dance, and then
But
the
now
dance
little kids are
is
doing
what-
it, and old people are doing it. I think it's funny.
Well, it started from a dance, and then they started calling it that from a dance.
Right,
It
I
was
didn't
called
know
something
that.
different. They started calling the marijuana usage of it from the dance.
I'm hearing it was the opposite way. Regardless, it's stop doing it. Ugh.
I'm picking Carolina, even though.
Yeah, I think
I
we
don't
go
have
for it.
faith.
Said that.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Minnesota is taking on Jacksonville. Everything in my being wanted to take Jacksonville. I didn't. I took Minnesota.
Duh. Minnesota, stop with your fascination with this trash quarterback.
No, it's actually more that Minnesota has played more their level all year. They played good against good teams. They played bad against bad teams. And I just think in this game, I think they're going to struggle.
Light Borders are going to score on
they're only
that
favored.
defense.
Look, they're only favored by 3.5 points. And if I
Vegas is messing up.
If I was a betting man, I would take Jacksonville with that 3.5 points.
Where's my money?
Chicago taking on Detroit.
Detroit.
Chicago put up 26 this week.
It's cute.
At Barkley. Yeah, I'm taking Detroit as well.
It was a Cutler right here.
So the trash game of the week that you were talking about, falling in the 4 o'clock spot. The Jets taking on the San Francisco 49ers. The San Francisco 49ers were favored last week. They were the first team to only have one win and be favored on the road in the history of football. They got destroyed 26-6. They are now favored at home against the Jets. Again, if I was a betting man, I would take the Jets getting the points. I'm going to take the Jets straight up head-to-head in our little thing here. And I don't have any faith in either of these teams. So I'm taking the Jets. Why? I don't know.
I'm going 49ers. Why? They're at home. That's about all I got.
You like Chip Kelly the way I like Chip Kelly, so I mean,
yeah,
it
I'm
makes
sure.
sense.
Like 2 weeks ago, I mean, they should have beat Miami, but
look, I'm not with you. If Kaepernick comes out and looks like he did 2 weeks ago,
great.
But if he comes out and looks like he did last week,
if he even comes out,
no, he's starting. They announced he's starting.
Well, that's good, I guess. Oh man, that's
I want to say they announced that on Tuesday.
It's the worst thing I ever seen in my life. This game.
A really good game that we're going to be able to pay attention to instead, though, is Seattle taking on Green Bay.
This is hard.
It wasn't that hard for me. I don't think Green Bay's defense is any good, even though Seattle looks really bad on the road, and I said all those things about the stats with Earl Thomas, Richard Sherman, or Cam Chancellor being hurt.
Mm-hmm.
I still think Seattle wins this game, but I do think it's like a 35-28 win. I mean, I think there's going to be a lot of points put up.
Yeah, definitely.
Both defenses are not healthy, and one is not good at all, and the other one is now skating on thin ice. So I got Seattle.
I initially had Seattle, but I switched it to Green Bay just to be consistent with my pick of them rolling into this division situation. That's the only reason. But I don't like it.
They're on a 2-game win streak.
Yeah, against trash.
New Orleans taking on Tampa Bay, who's on a long win streak. Look, I think Jameis gets it done again, and New Orleans has not looked good on the road offensively, as good as they have at home. And at home last week, they struggled. Tampa Bay's defense traveled last week, played really well. I think they can do it again. I got Tampa Bay.
I got Tampa Bay as well. The Saints are they're a disappointment right now.
Atlanta, though, taking on LA. It's in LA. That's the only hope for Tampa Bay for them to maybe get an advantage on it. I got Atlanta actually beating LA in LA, even though LA's defense plays really well at home, and Atlanta hasn't looked good at all. It's a rough game. I hear you. I think Atlanta gets it done.
I don't think LA finds the victory, just like Jeff Fisher could have found a challenge flag. I'm going with Atlanta.
Yes, but
he found a contract.
He did find a 2-year contract.
Supposedly it was signed before, but I think it's ironic that it was released after the bullshit.
Mr. 500.
You know, I wish I could be mediocre, average, or trash at my job and make that type of money and not lose my job.
For 12 years now he's been this? He's literally been within 2 games of 500 either way, 9 straight years, and this looks like it's going to happen for 10 straight, and he has coached all of those years in a row in the NFL.
Like, what is the basis of? I don't understand. Like, you would think that this would have been it. He's done after this. What is the basis?
Can I be honest with you?
I would love to have heard that conversation.
You want to break it down? He's the puppet. He's the NFL's puppet. Look, he was there when Houston transferred to Tennessee. He was the guy who took I forget the controversial player from overseas a couple years ago with Tennessee, and then he took Michael Sam with the Rams. Look, he's the NFL's puppet. He is the guy to, I got you, but I mean that's how he keeps his job.
Well, guess what? They're not in St. Louis anymore. They're in LA, and that's not going to fly.
The reason the reason St. Louis wanted him was because they knew they were going from St. Louis to LA. So they wanted somebody, and look at what he did with Tennessee when they went from Houston to Tennessee. He had them as contenders for a good 9 years. And then, yes, the last 7 years were miserable, but for a good 9 years, he had them as contenders.
Oh, yeah, they were in a conversation.
They also had Aaron McNair and Eddie George for a lot of those.
And they just never really got over that hump.
Vince Young for the other ones. Jared Goff that's what their thought is, Jared Goff can be that guy. Look, I'm with you. I don't think Jeff Fisher in the next 2 years gets anything done. I think that they're mediocre for the next 2 years and gets fired in 3 years when they're their new stadium. They finally get a new coach and probably a different quarterback instead of Jared Goff. But I think Goff has talent, so who knows?
That's the problem. This is LA though, and I don't know what the attendance is right now. I don't care, but I mean, moving forward,
not bad.
it's
You're
going
right.
to
It's gonna
drop within a year.
And it's going to be a really big stadium. It's going to look really empty, like the
brand
Jets.
new
It's going to be a brand new, huge stadium.
It's going to be real depressing when that new stadium's empty because they suck.
Dallas taking on the Giants. That stadium was empty on Monday night for the Jets game. It will be packed for this one. I expect Jay-Z to be in the house because he loves the Cowboys and he lives in New York, so he goes to most of those games. And this is a big one.
Yep.
His wife's also from Houston before the Texans were there, so I'm pretty sure she grew up a Cowboys fan.
I'm sure. Go ahead.
I don't want to see the Eli crying face this week. I'm rooting for the Giants. I'm picking Dallas, man. This sucks. They're so good. It's annoying.
Dude, you know what's crazy? I wanted to make a case that they were going to lose, and I could make a case. Because I'm looking at the Cowboys schedule. No, I'm looking at the Cowboys schedule, and we're not going to just have one loss for the year. It's not happening. We got the Bucs, we got the Lions, we got the Eagles after this. There's got to be a loss in there somewhere.
I'd like to see you lose this one, and then the Bucs, and then the Lions, and then the Eagles game. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, good luck. There's got to be, and I think that the Giants could get this one. I would hate to see them get two of the losses this year.
I think it'd be fun if like my scenario where I keep saying plays out, where the 2 losses for Dallas is against New York. I think it'd be pretty fun. I think on Sunday Night Football, though, the way that the New York Giants have looked the last couple weeks, and this week alone, look.
The problem is the defense of the Giants because they're actually they're 5th against the rush, and that's our big thing. So I wonder I don't think they're going to do what Minnesota did, even though Zeke still put up decent numbers. But I think they might be able to contain them a little better. It might just end up coming down to the two quarterbacks because we both had trash secondaries, so that might be the situation here.
The Giants spent a lot of money in the offseason to get that defense good, and you're right, the run defense is good. I think your offensive line still pushes them around. It was 21-20 for a reason.
We did push around the Vikings, really.
There was 21-20 for a reason in week 1, but at the same time, I think your offense could put up way more points this time around. That's my point, yeah.
Completely different.
And I don't think that the Giants get the ball enough to put up more than 21 points in this game. They're going to need big plays from Odell. For them to get more than 21 points in this game, they're going to need the big, long Odell plays.
And they definitely have more weapons than Minnesota does, so they can definitely do it.
I don't disagree with
that.
I don't
know. I think they can definitely pull it. I'm going with Dallas, but I don't like it.
Their offense does not have a run game at all.
That's fine. They don't need it. Eli, what's his name, out of Washington?
Cousins?
Cousins proved that you don't need a run. Just throw 500 yards against us and you can do something. I'm going with Dallas. I don't like it at all. By the way, the reason why we're America's team because we're the most profitable team in sports, and this is number 3 of 5 straight primetime games. Just want to throw that out there, America's team, so we can stop debating that conversation.
You mean the Monday night game with New England, America's team?
Do they have 5 straight primetime games? Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, but they're going to end the season on 4 or 5.
Yeah, I'm sure. America's team.
Yeah, that's why they.
Were they on Thanksgiving? Were they on the weekend?
No, they're gonna get the Christmas ones. They get the back half.
We play the day after Christmas. Yes.
Well, so does half the league.
They don't play it. No, we play the day after Christmas
on
Monday Night Football.
Everyone plays the day before Christmas. That's what it is. You're right. They do play the day after Christmas.
Prime time.
But I'm pretty sure New England's on prime time that week too. Look,
5 straight games. Stop debating this. You're such a hater. Stop it. God damn. And why do you know that the Patriots, why do you have any idea what their primetime schedule is?
Don't
answer that.
Tom Brady.
Don't answer that. Don't answer that.
This was a really hard game to pick on Monday night, by the way.
No, it was not.
Baltimore versus New England?
No, it was not. Patriots.
Baltimore's defense is so good.
No. What'd I say? Until Tom Brady stops breathing, it's Tom Brady.
Patriots defense has looked a lot better. Look, I told you I didn't think I was going to pick against the Patriots all season. That doesn't change.
Go ahead, do it.
I'm taking New England.
Well, then what's hard about it?
Because
Tom Brady, that's your boy, isn't there? There's nothing hard about it. That's why you're going with it. You just spend the first 20 minutes after college football talking about Tom Brady, how great he is to go against them. It wasn't hard. Stop it.
I have off on Tuesdays. I'm going to stay up for this entire game on Monday.
I damn
sure. I hope it's good.
I hope it's good as well. I'm not staying up for it. I don't know why you thought it was hard. This is your boy. He might have been, I don't know.
The GOAT, Tom Brady, greatest of all time.
Allegedly.
Thank you for watching JD Sports. I'm Jared Hood. That's Dwight Garfield.
Good night, America's team.